to highlight the portions that I want you to cut now. Okay, because you're not going to cut every line. This is very, very important. So on this top layer, you're going to end up cutting this line here and this line here, and it's going to create little flappies. Okay? And then you're going to cut this line, and this line. Okay? So you're going to cut in those parts that I have shaded. This part you don't want to cut, and then this part here you don't want to cut. And you only want to cut down to that middle line. Okay? By doing that, we've made several little flaps. Okay? And what you can do is you can fold this flap in, crease it, fold this flap in, crease it, fold this flap in, crease it. Okay, and we've got little booklets. Then we're going to take this inside layer that we cut and fold that in. Okay. And so now we get a little foldable that looks like this. And because I like color, I'm going to use highlighters, but you can use whatever you want. I'm trying to get this a little darker so you can see it. Okay, now, any questions on the foldable board? Does anybody need help with that? Is that too dark for you guys? Okay, so you can see that I already have something pre-labeled. So this is for vertical and horizontal lines. Every year I've got students that still flip-flop graphing horizontal and vertical lines. Now, this is when y equals a number. Your x value will not be present in this type of example. So this is like saying y equals 1 or y equals -7. If y equals a number, you're going to use these three boxes to help determine how do I graph it. Is it vertical? Is it horizontal? And so on. So what I'm going to do is give you a little acronym, and that is HOY. So H-O-Y. And I'm going to, if you're using pen or highlighter, I'm going to highlight that in the same color so that I know that those go together. Like I said, I don't care if you use it, but I like color. So H-O-Y, HOY. And so what that represents, or what that stands for, I'm going to flip up my H, is that the line will be horizontal. Okay? The line will be horizontal. And let me see if I can darken that up for you guys. Is that too dark? Or is that better? Now, let's make sure everybody knows what horizontal is. Okay? And if you can't figure out already, horizontal is in this direction. That's why we did the HOY on top. So it's left to right. So your line is going to be left to right on your graph. Okay. Now, we haven't discussed slope yet, and we will get to that in section 7.3. But horizontal lines have 0 slope. So your slope would be equal to 0. That's where you get the O. It looks like a 0. Okay? So horizontal lines have 0 slope. And then the Y is to remind you that the line will cross the Y axis. Okay, remember that Y axis is up and down, so my line is going to go through the Y axis. It's horizontal. Okay, so H-O-Y. Help that let you remember that when Y equals a number, think horizontal, think 0 slope. It's going to cross the Y-axis. Any of those you need me to keep open or repeat? Now, the next one, okay, we're going to talk about what happens when I get a graph that has x equal to a number. Okay, and I'm going to use a different color, but you don't have to, but I like color. Okay, and mine's going to be purple. I know it kind of blocked it out on your screen, but when x equals a number, I want you to remember the acronym VUX. V-U-X. Okay, V-U-X. And so just like we did with Hoy, we're going to write little reminders. V, what do you think the V stands for? The line is vertical. Very good. And that's up and down. So we're going to have an up and down graph. It's a straight line. U, now like I said, we haven't talked about slope yet. I'm so sorry that I'm not getting good at these. Brightness. U, we haven't talked about slope, but the slope for vertical lines, so vertical lines have undefined slope. Okay, and I do want you to highlight that word, undefined. It'll come in handy when we get to section 7.3. I'm horrible at this lettering today. I apologize. Okay. Undefined slope. And then X, my last box, the line will cross the x-axis. Okay, so remember, the x-axis is the horizontal line. Our line is going to be vertical and cross through the x-axis. Okay, now this right here we're going to put aside. This is going to go on page 8 in your notebook. Page 8. And we'll spend some time here in a minute because we're going to do 2 more examples that are really simple.